Hey everybody, welcome back to our kitchen. So it's Crock-Tober day number 5 and we're having soup again. It is nice and fall-ish or fall-esque here in North Carolina. And I am doing the light Progresso creamy potato with bacon and cheese soup. And you know how I roll. I like a full, complete experience. And so what I have done, before I've even put the soup in, I have created the fullness. With that, I mean I have bulked up this soup with peppers and onion and carrots. And then I also used about 4 or 5 of the leftover potatoes we had from the other night, which I think is going to make it nice and creamy and rich, because one of the things I notice is that when we use these canned soups, they say potato or chicken, and they don't normally have a lot of that ingredient. It's hints of or little bits. And so in order that we don't overeat too much, trying to compensate for what's not in the can, I've already gone ahead and put it in. So remember, you cook your soups or add in what you like. I've got onions, peppers, mushrooms, potatoes, and carrots inside of this soup or in the crock pot. And then I'm just going to add 2 cans of soup. Last week I did, or the other day I did 4 cans, and this time I'm only doing 2 cans. So that's also another way to bulk it up, is by using items or root vegetable items. So I've salt and peppered it to taste. I'm going to pour in, I mean, you can see kind of some chunks of the potato, but there's not a lot in there. So I've poured in 1 can, and I'm going to pour in the second can. And hopefully that's going to give it the right amount of liquid that it needs. I've got my crock pot on low, and I'm going to let this go while I'm at work today and the kids are at school. To that, or the last thing I'm going to add, and you don't have to add this, but I think we don't mind if it gets mixed, is that leftover ham gravy that I made the other day. And so I'm just going to dump that in. It's probably going to make my soup turn a little brown, but that's okay, because I was going to do just a plain gravy, and it can be like potatoes and gravy. But I remembered I had this. Utilize anything you can or that you have. If you're joining me for Crock-Tober and you have leftovers, go ahead and utilize those leftovers as best as you can. There's no need to have food waste doing Crock-Tober. So we have already used the potatoes we had from the other day. My crock pot is hot. Goodness. I've used the soups I got on Super Doubles for cheap. And then I've also used that little bit of ham gravy that I had left. I've given it a good stir. I'm going to keep this on low for about 7 hours or so until I get home from work. And then we'll see how it looks. My potatoes are already part cooked because we cooked them in the crock pot last week. So that's just going to give it a nice richness. They're going to break down, and it's going to be all good. So let me show you what I found on Pinterest the other day. I found a slow cooker conversion chart. This was on Pinterest, sponsored by Johnsonville Sausage. I don't know, I just found it. So it gives you your settings. For low, 7 hours, that would be the equivalent of high for 3 hours, or so on and so forth. So I thought that was neat, and I'm sitting it right here beside my crock pot since I'm doing all the month of October for Crock Pot Meals. I'm going to put on my top and get ready to head out for work, and we'll let you know what our soup looks like this afternoon. Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel. So it's time to eat. It's Crock-Tober day number 5, and we put on, before we left this morning, a potato and bacon, cheese, bacon, potato soup. It was a Progresso canned soup that I was able to get with coupons last week. And before I left, I went ahead and put everything on. I did bulk up the soup a little bit because I put in onions and garlic. No, not garlic. I didn't put garlic. I put onions, carrots, mushrooms, peppers. Onions, mushrooms, peppers, and carrots. And I also diced up the last of the potatoes that we had from the other day when we did baked potatoes. So I do want to show you what our soup looks like. And I also put in a little bit of that gravy that I had from the other day. So that's what this color is. It's the gravy that I put in. Now, if you don't put in a gravy packet or a little bit of extra gravy, then your soup should be just the regular white looking soup. But because I put in a little bit of that brown gravy, that's kind of what that tint is there. But if you look, this is a hearty soup. Just opening the can of Progresso soup doesn't do a whole lot for it because there are chunks of potato in there, but it's not like this. Here you can see chunks of potato, there's onions, there's mushrooms, and you don't have to put all of that in there if that's not your preference. Again, make it to your preference. So other than the soup itself, nothing I added had points with the exception of the potato. And I think I added in 4 or 5 small to medium potatoes. They weren't really big. So of course I'll count the smart points for that. But we're going to just dish this up and let you see what it looks like. So Jackson has agreed to be my guinea kid. And then there's some things that you can add to your soup if you like. We're going to do a little bit of the butter spray. Jackson loves sour cream. If you don't want to use regular sharp cheddar, I got some reduced fat cheese from Sargento. You can do a wedge of the Laughing Cow cheese. And we have some Cheez-It crackers because I don't have croutons, which I usually eat with the soup. Or you can do tortilla strips, or you can do nacho strips. It's whatever you and your family would prefer. So I am going to dish this out for Jackson. I'm going to do 1.5 cups of the soup. I like the fact that in every bite you're going to get something, a chunk of something. And that's a cup. A half might, you know, 1.5 cups might be just too much. We'll call that 1.25 cups because I just think that's a lot with everything we added in. So for Jackson, I'm going to add in just a dollop of the sour cream because he does like sour cream. Give that a little stir. Just a little tiny dollop. I'm going to also add in about 1/4 cup of the cheese, the shredded cheese, because he does like shredded cheese. I just have not had a chance to get to Walmart to do the fat-free cheese, which I normally keep around the house. And then I'm going to do a couple of the sprays of I Can't Believe It's Not Butter. You don't have to do that step. It really does not need that. And then a few of the Cheez-It crackers. And then Jackson's going to give us his honest review.
Actually very good. You can taste most of the gravy in the potato, but it's actually very soft. Well, it's very good, but you can taste the gravy mostly in the potato because it's actually very soft. The sour cream makes it a little bit less warm than it actually is. The cheese gives it like stringy flavor, and it's a little crunchy with these. But all in all, it's very good.
And there you have it. Crock pot, cheesy potato soup. A little jacked up because I like a full and a rich experience. So Alana and I are going to fix our plates. We're going to get ready to eat. So we just want to say thank you so much for joining us for Crock-Tober. We hope you're picking up some really good meal ideas, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.